All right, we're on step 11. So we're taking our back main piece and we're going to add this zippered pocket to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure, if we have directional fabric, that our top is correct, because when we turn this over, we're going to mark on the back side, on the lining side of, on the interface side, sorry about that, on the interface side of your main, your back main one. Okay, so first of all, we should have a center mark. So that is the center of our back. We're double checking that. Okay, everything is groovy. Okay, and then what we're doing is we're going to take a measuring our ruler, and we're going to mark down 2 inches from the top. So we're kind of going to line that up even with this top edge right here. This top edge right here. And it's going to be a 10-inch pocket, so you can overmark this a little bit. That is not going to be a problem at all. Okay, so I have the first line, and then I'm going to do a 1/4 inch mark, a 1/4 inch down from my first mark. And then one more, a 1/4 inch down from that mark. And that's what those look like. So you have 2 inches down the first mark, 1/4 inch from there, 1/4 inch from there. Then you're going to mark over. So we're going to mark our center just so we have it closer down, right? And then we need a 10-inch opening. So we're going to mark, we're going to put that at the center. We're going to do 5 inches over from the center this side, and 5 inches over from the center on that side. And that's what we're going to get. So we're going to get this box. Now you can mark this little V if you want to. This is just for when we're going to cut out this in the future, so I'm not that worried about this. So we have this marked, and now we're going to create our pocket. All right, so we have our box drawn on the back side of our main back bag, where we're going to put our recessed pocket. So this is pocket E, and here's our piece of fabric. So this fabric is 14 by 14. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this right side up. I might want to give that a little bit of an iron. One moment, please. I'm going to give this a tiny bit of an iron. All right, now we're good. So here's our pocket E. And we're going to, now this is what I like about the way she does this pocket. You're going to kind of center it, and this, you just need to see some of this. This is going to, we're going to put a seam in this. You'll see when we get to that point. But this doesn't need to be in a specific location. You just want a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom, like that. And you want it fairly centered. Okay, so then we're going to put a couple of pins in here, and we're going to go over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew around this big outside box twice. And you're going to take your stitch length down a couple of notches. So you're going to do a smaller stitch. You're going to start, I don't know, right about there. Wherever makes you comfortable, just don't start at a corner. And you're going to go around this box twice. and leave the center, no stitching for the center line, just going around this box twice. All right, I'm going to show you what I mean. We're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew this up. All right, here we are at the sewing machine. So I've put a couple of pins in. I'm going to take my stitch length down a couple of notches, and I am going to start right on this line right here, and you are going to back stitch. And go nice and slow. This is not a race. I love the sound of these old machines. So before I get to the end, I'm gonna take that pin out because it's sticking me. I'm gonna trim my two. Should have put my needle down, I didn't. Okay, and then we're gonna go around one more time. Overshot it by one. There we go. And going around this twice gives you a little bit crisper of a turn. So that means when you pull this from the front to the back, I always go over mine a little bit before I backstitch again, so I don't end up with your backstitching all in the same area. Take your pins out. And that's what you've got. So then we're going to go and we're going to cut on this line and to make to the corners. And then we're going to turn this to the other side. So I will show you that on the other camera. All right, so we have this all sewed around our box twice with our stitch length down. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to put my ruler right on this center line. Make sure that everything's out of the way so you're not cutting through any part of your pocket you don't want to. And then I'm going to start about 1 inch away from one side, and I'm going to end that about 1 inch away from that side. The rest you can do with a pair of scissors, but that first cut with the rotary cutter makes it nice and accurate. All right, so then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut the rest of the way, and then we're going to cut from that cut into the corner without cutting your stitching. Very important. Okay, and then I trim that little peak off, and then I do the other side. I usually keep mine flat, that way I'm making sure I'm not getting anything in the way. Trim that little peak. Okay, so then we're going to turn this to the other side. It looks like a bit of a mess, but trust me, it turns out just great. All right, so I get in there and I kind of finger press my corners, and they're looking not so bad. And then I kind of work this seam in between my fingers. If you can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to give this a really good iron from this side and from the other side, and that will help, you know, iron out any of these little pleats in there. And then I will show you what it looks like. Let's see. So what it looks like from the front is after we get this nice and ironed. You should have a nice crisp edge on both sides, and you'll have this nice rectangular opening that we're going to put our zipper in. So here is the front of our back zipper. So we've done step 11, and we have sewed our little box and then turned it right side to, and we have the front side, and then we have the pocket side. All right, so now we're going to put our zipper on. Okay, so if you're getting the Bold and Bright, you'll get a mixture of, you'll either get for your back pocket a heart or a star. So it's kind of a mixed bag. So you'll either get a heart or a star iridescent. So let's do the star. And then you have zipper tape that you're going to cut to size for your project. So you need a 12-inch piece for your back pocket, and I'm going to show you how to put the zipper tab on here. Okay, so we're going to open up our zipper tab. There's another video on the So Let's Make a Bag about this in case you need to take a look at it. And we're going to cut one side a wee bit shorter than the other, like that. And then you have it's really fun zipper pull with the star. It has a rounded side and it has a flat side. So the rounded side is always the side that's going to go onto your zipper, and then this is the right side up. So you want right side up. So we're going to put at a little bit of an angle, we're going to put that on, and then we're going to kind of go at a little bit of an angle on the other side, and then we're going to lay this down flat and put our thumb and forefinger on the zipper tape and just pull. okay? And that gets your zipper on your zipper tape. So the rounded side is the zipping up side, I call it. So when you pull back on the flat side, that's how you open it. So however you want your zipper, I recommend that we put the rounded side, so your zipper pull on the left-hand side, and we're going to put it right sides down onto the, that's how it's going to go. So it's going to show up on the other side. So I have found that there is this paper tape that I really find useful in so many things, in bag making and in other projects. And I put a little bit of this tape, like so, and I use that to hold it in place while I'm making sure that we're even, it looks good. Let me get it in there so it works. So there, I'm nice and even. Make sure your zipper pulls in there. And I think I've decided I want it to open, yeah, left to right on the right side. So I'm going to switch that. So I'm kind of evening it up, and then I'm pressing down. And that's what my zipper is going to look like. I think it looks really awesome. All right, let me check the back. Make sure I have a little bit over this edge and a little bit over that edge. And the nice thing about this paper tape is it is going to tear off quite easily, so I can sew right over it and then take care of it when I'm done putting the top stitch around this zipper. Okay, so for the ends I might add a pin or two to make sure they stay where I want them to. Grab a couple of pins. This is just to keep things in place until you get to that part of your sewing, and then take them away. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to 1/8 of an inch top stitch all the way around. You can just top stitch once. I always recommend starting not at a corner, so start over here and go around once. Go nice and slow. Move your zipper if you need to, if it's getting in your way while you're sewing. So you're going to start here and go all the way around. You can go ahead and put your zipper foot on if that makes you more comfortable, or it's far enough away and these zipper tapes are wide enough that if you just go nice and slow and move your zipper pull out of the way, it should work just fine, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, here we are over at the sewing machine. So I'm going to start right about there. I'm going to grab my getting close to that one, so I'm going to remove that one. Make sure your needle down if your machine doesn't do that. See how I'm getting close to this zipper pull? So I'm going to trim this guy because that's in my way. I'm sure the other one is going to be in my way too. Oops. So I should have had needle down, but I didn't, but now I do. So I'm going to take my zipper pull and I'm going to move it out of my way, put my presser foot back down. Take out my last pin. These zippers you can sew through, but just take your time and go slow. And then again, go past where you did your back stitch. Okay, so let's take a look. So here's our zipper. Looking good. Stitching looks nice. We're going to go to the back and we're going to take away our paper tape. You can use glue instead of the tape, or a little bit of the, it's like fusible tape that you can get. So all of those are good options. I just find that the paper tape is a little bit easier to adjust as we're trying to make the zipper nice and straight. And nothing is going to be like super duper perfect always, so I want you guys to just realize that it's your bag. If you're happy with it, then all is well. All right, I can also take the back of my seam ripper and kind of nudge at it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to trim the ends of our zipper so we don't have any bunch of that in the way. It goes in the thank you for coming pile. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is super easy. We're going to take these two edges, the top and bottom, and we're going to sew those together. 1/4 inch seam, quarter-ish seam. Make sure your top is out of the way so you're just sewing that pocket. Okay, then we're going to take our pocket and we're going to iron this seam open, and you're going to kind of fan it out, and then you're going to sew this end and that end. See how the pocket, the top is right here? So you can put this seam anywhere you want, and that's what makes this pocket nice to sew, because you're not trying to get this little scrunchy bit at the top, you know, under your machine. She's giving you a little bit of space to make it easier. So I'm gonna head over to the iron really quick, and then I'll do those other side seams. All right. Seam open. So there's the bottom of the zipper, and then there's the top of the zipper. And if you want to put a couple of clips on there, so we're going to move our front out of the way. Those are in my way. See how I have this out of the way? I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Make sure that's out of the way. These guys. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So when I go to the top of my bag and I unzip it, we have a nice pocket all ready to go. We're going to put our luggage handle on there, or trolley handle on there, whatever you like to call it. We're going to put that on next, and then we're going to start putting this bag together.